Have teeth troubles? It may be due to your dental decade. Dentist Steve Marsh is here to identify the issues that are arising depending upon our age and to offer advice on how boomers and beyond can bring back a beautiful smile. So welcome again to the show.
Thanks, Lori. It's a
First,
pleasure.
we're going to focus on the 50s, right?
Right, and we're talking about people in the 50s who were born in the 60s. You may be one of those people. I don't want to allude to that. But one of the issues that people born who are now in their fifth decade of life, those are people who we were just getting fluoridation in. So most of those people have had a lot of decay. Again, they were born in the 60s. They may have had silver fillings. We didn't have tooth-colored fillings. In fact, they didn't come in until I was in dental school in the 70s.
Okay.
So they may have had a lot of silver fillings. The teeth over time, again, they've been in there 40 or 50 years. They're starting to break down. So that's what people in their 50s suffer from. And I might add, Lori, that one of the issues we're having today in dentistry is that people aren't drinking fluoridated water. They drink bottled water and that sort of thing. So we're seeing, again, an upsurge in decay, just like people who were born in their 60s, unfortunately. So that's just an aside, an important one.
But those people in their 50s have 30 more years yet to live, probably. So what should they be doing?
So when those teeth start to break down or those silver fillings start to break down, that's a good time to have them replaced. And today you can do them with composites. They're very conservative, they look good, and they function very well. And they need regular care every 4 to 6 months.
Okay. Do you have an example of some of this?
Yeah, so we have some
50s?
pictures of that. One of the other things that happens over time is people's teeth chip. And this is a patient of mine in her 50s, and she said, Steve, I had braces as a kid. They've shifted quite a bit. What can we do? And I said, it's very easy to just do some reshaping on the upper and lower to give her a better bite. And by the way, Lori, by not only making those teeth look better by doing some contouring, they're also less likely to chip. So that's for somebody in their 50s.
Okay, so the next decade, people now in their 60s. They were
60s.
born, obviously, 10 years earlier, so what problems are they facing?
Right, and I'm a part of that group. My dad was my dentist and had put silver fillings in. I also had some areas of decay. And as I got older, they started to break down, though we did a marvelous job. We took them out and they were replaced with tooth-colored fillings. Again, a very conservative way to approach it. This is a patient who had had a silver filling. This is very typical of somebody in their 50s and 60s where the silver filling starts to move away, and you can also see a little fracture in that tooth. So today, again, conservatively, we take the filling out and we put a tooth-colored filling that not only fills the hole and brings it together. And another patient of mine in her 60s, and she had had some crowns and bridges over the years. She had lost some teeth. And you'll also notice, if you're viewers, and we're looking right in the patient's mouth, looking up at those front teeth, they started to spread as she had gotten older. She had a silver filling or two, so we took those out. She wanted them whiter and brighter and wanted those spaces closed. So today, with porcelain veneers on somebody's 60 and some all-porcelain crowns and bridges, we gave her a beautiful smile, took away the decay, and brought her back to modern times, if you will.
All right, well, now we're moving into the later decades, people in maybe their 70s and 80s.
Yeah, so I can tell you, Lori, that both my sisters and my brother are in their 70s, and my dad was their dentist, just like he was mine, fortunately, and they had a lot of gold work done. Gold was still a marvelous restorative material.
That was the standard back then?
Standard in some cases, especially if your father was doing the dentistry.
Of course.
But also a lot of big silver fillings, and so over time they may have lost teeth or broken down due to decay. It could be gum disease, periodontal disease. And sometimes we talked about shifting, they've really shifted, and this is a patient of mine who spends half the year in Florida and spends half in Cleveland. And we talked about how do we restore those lower ones, and she had talked about braces. She was in her 70s, so we actually reshaped those and did porcelain veneers on the front, top, and back. And you can also see, talk about 70, so her teeth had been there 60 years or more, and she had brushed very hard. She had taken away a lot of the enamel. They look almost translucent.
Right.
So we built those up with porcelain veneers. And here's a gentleman who came to me in his 80s. His son brought him in. He was actually a farmer. His wife had passed away, and he said, I want to have my own teeth again. He had worn a partial, so we did a permanent bridge and gave him the work that he wanted. Nothing came in or out. We restored the teeth. So even in your 80s, he was thrilled with the work, and his son said, Dad, I'm thrilled for you. And it was really a heartwarming, gratifying story for us.
That's fantastic. So, are your teeth now looking and feeling their age? No matter what your dental decade, Steve can help turn back time by transferring your teeth and sprucing up your smile. To learn more, give him a call. His number is next.
See what Dr. Stephen Marsh can do for your smile by calling 440-461-1003 or visit www.clevelandsmiles.com. Next, the frightening facts about the onset of Alzheimer's.